imagine that, especially my fellow barbarians that do not like to play with the new bot build, the Chainbreaker, even though it is very powerful. I understand. Since we got nerfed, you can actually not control the bot, so it is a bit more clunky. There's still a few gimmicks for you to actually abuse it, and it is still, in my opinion, the most impactful build. But I'm gonna show you today a different one that we're still gonna abuse like a few of these new mechanics. But before we go into that, please do me a small favor, drop that like and the subscribe button, because it tells me, my wife, that you guys are enjoying the content and you want to see more builds for Barbarian like this one. So we are using here the new Inferno 8 offhand together with the immunity chest piece and also the Whirlwind with the Artless Terror. It is very powerful, and I found out after like testing out for multiple hours. I was testing like the different chess pieces, like different offense, different mechanisms. You actually have such a diverse playstyle that I will just give you two variants. One, the one that I actually got the most success, because it was the one that I was actually able to perform the best and win the most matches. And I always tell you that having a lot of kills does not mean that you actually are having like a lot of impact inside the game, because at the end of the day you want to win. And the other version that I'm gonna show you, it is the one that I actually got a lot of MVPs, but at the end of the day, I still did not win the match. And I'm gonna tell you that, yeah, my team was not the best, this and that, but the honest truth it is that at the end of the day, you know, the Barbarian role, it is to try to be as tanky and as impactful as possible. And because of that, I believe that if you are a bit more tanky and you can hold your ground into the idol and together with your team pushing or zoning the team, it is definitely the best way to go. So as you guys can see here, not only I am being still like very impactful, I have like damage reduction, I still have like immunity to CC during the Artless, we also have reduction to CC while we are on the Wrath of Berserk form. So it is very powerful. I liked it a lot to play. I'm gonna show you all these builds because I think you're gonna actually be surprised. So let's go here inside the game and I'm gonna show you like this build, which pretty much we're gonna use the Wrath of Berserk. Still very hard to actually remove it out of these builds. Super strong. Demoralize, which is gonna pretty much give you the immunity to CC that you need without using the bot. Whirlwind, your main source of damage, and of course we're gonna use here the Undying Rage. Now let's go into the instances, and here is where everything starts changing. So pretty much this one, it is called the Artless Terror, which is gonna give you the Demoralize, is gonna unleash a roar, it's gonna damage everyone, but more than the damage, what we are looking is that it's gonna give you during the duration immunity to crowd control and also to knockbacks. This is gonna be very powerful, so you can stay in the middle of the crowd, and now there's like so much CC in the Battlegrounds, it's almost impossible to play without any immunity to CC. So also here on the chess piece, on this variant, we are using the immunity to knockback, slow and shield, and immobilize effects whenever you are using your Whirlwind. So as long as you're channeling, you're gonna be immune to these effects. No, you're not gonna be immune to knockback or even stun, but still it is a big part of like what actually makes this happen. Then we are using here the Ox Horns. Whenever you're gonna use the Whirlwind, you're actually gonna apply Blitz. These Blitz actually hurt a lot. Then this, the Pants, it is a dead slot, so make a cross. It is a dead slot, it does not matter. Then we are using on the main hands the Reel of Catus, and then on the other offhand we are using the Iron Tusk. You can also have another alternative of trying to use the Thunder of Birth, but this one, honestly, because of the fact that you only stays for 2 seconds and you're only gonna apply it like one time, and you have to remember, like, you only gonna apply that stack of damage reduction whenever you're gonna use the Demoralize. And if you see, we have like 6 seconds and we're gonna be able to hit the target for one time, so it is not worth it. But if you use this in the middle of multiple targets, you can actually have your critical hit strike stacked up to 3 times for 3 seconds, which still it is gonna be very powerful for you inside the Battleground. Now here on the popular slots, it is the offense. The offense is where you're gonna have like a lot of variations that you can do. For me, what I found that they actually work the best together with the Artless Terror was the Helmet Splinter, which is gonna increase your movement speed, reduce the damage that you take by 35%, and also reduce the duration of loss of control. This was actually very clutch. Whenever you are out of your Demoralize and your Artless Terror goes off, this still comes very clutch, but together, immunity to CC and still some damage reduction, it feels like you are still using the bot. However, you can actually control the character. Then on the offhand, we are trying to use the Dishonored Blade because we want to increase the duration of the Artless Terror, so it extends the immunity to CC durations, so you have all the mobility that you still want as a barb while playing this build. For the second variation, and this one, it is a variation that it is pretty much more like, I am a big whale and I just want to go and kick some ass inside the Battlegrounds. So here it is a very aggressive playstyle. We don't have damage reductions, but what we have, it is a lot of damage. So on this one, if I'm going to show you here, you're going to see that pretty much what we're changing the chest piece, so no longer immunity, but we actually get 30% more damage, and also we are removing the damage reduction from the offhand and the duration of the crowd control, and we are adding the Blood Seizure, which is going to increase our damage by 50%. And then we are also changing the Dishonored Blade and adding the Falling Thunder for 30% more. So you can see whenever you make like these 3 adjustments on the build, you're gonna be able to output like so much more damage compared to the defensive one, but obviously it is a neck change. So try both of these variations. One is more defensive, I had better results, but maybe you actually gonna like more to play this aggressive style, which is still fun, but I felt like at the end of the day, even though I got like more kills and I did more damage, I couldn't survive as well on the idol. So make sure like you try both of these variations. They are very cool. When it comes here to the set items, they are both using exactly the same green set items. We are using the 4 pieces Monty Banks, which pretty much gonna give you a shield that's gonna absorb 33% of your damage, and this comes so clutch, man. All the time it saves my ass so many times. Then we also have here the 2 pieces Seeds that whenever you're gonna be channeling that Whirlwind, you're gonna start doing more 30%. Also, you can have other alternatives if you want, like 2 pieces Banquets or even 4 pieces Vitus, but personally I felt like the 2 pieces Seeds was actually very cool for this damage. And last but not least, of course, we're gonna have the 2 pieces Vitus Urge, so increase the duration of our Undying Rage, legendary gems, and so on. So this is very cool. When it comes here to my legendary set, we are pretty much using the Pain Clasp to increase damage whenever we're gonna have a continuous damage effect, and we are, because we are applying that bleed from the shoulders. We have the Blood Flow, which you can replace by any other damage gem if you want, or even a defensive gem. And then we're using the Blood Soak Jade to have the increased movement speed and damage reduction as well. Running Consequence for the crit, Colossus for the increased size, immunity knockback, skill damage. It is such a god gem. Then we have here Anthropic Well to increase our skill damage and also our skill attack speed. Then the last 2, it is gonna be the Black Rose. Whenever you're gonna take damage, you're actually gonna reflect and you're gonna immobilize the target, which is so good, especially whenever you're trying to chase. And the other one is gonna be the Faltered Grasp, so whenever you have these Tempas and these Demon Hunters and also the Wizards are coming next to you, you just start like spinning, you do damage to them, you're gonna apply the crit, you're actually gonna prevent them from using their dash skills and also apply some movement speed reduction. So it's very powerful, these gems. So hopefully in the future I can keep working on these 1 and 2 start, maybe a few more defensive than others. You have others alternatives that you can go. You can also go with the Viper Spite, you can also put the Everlasting Storm, you have the Battle Guard, you have the Insurgent Echo, you also have, for example, the Starfire Shard, you have Frozen Heart, Spiteful Blood. There's many variations that you can put here. Just try to fit more what is your playstyle or the best choices of the gems that you actually have. So for the Reforges, we are still using the Jolt, which pretty much it is very similar to the Black Rose. Whenever you actually gonna receive damage from the target, you're actually gonna have a 2% chance to immobilize, which is like pretty good. And the stats that I like to go with is damage to loss of control, damage to players, beneficial effect duration, damage taken while in loss of control, and also damage taken to players. I use this pretty much for every single build. It is my PvP set. It works pretty much in every single class, and it does also very well. So regarding here, when it comes to the substats, you already know if you want to play the Whirlwind, having a few of these Whirlwind range increase, it actually comes clutch. Even though it is strife in PvP, it still matters a bit of extra range, you know, so you can hit more targets. It's still gonna be very cool. Then you also gonna have here some special affixes that's gonna make you slightly more tanky, which is, for example, the evasion rate. Whenever you're gonna dodge the target, you actually gonna be able to trigger this shield. It's gonna give a 5% shield off your maximum life. Still very strong. In my case, I have like a 10% because I have 2 out of 5. Then you also have here the damage taken from players. It is reduced. You can have on these helmets, on the Grave Runner. You can also have here, for example, on your green side items, on the bracelets. Also, you can have them on your rings, and also on your gloves, and also on your helmet, and also on your necklace. So whenever you actually start stacking all of these damage taken from players is reduced, you can actually be a tanky of a beast. I think at this moment I have like around like minus 20% or minus like 15 or 20%, something like that. It is very strong, and like that I'm gonna be able to handle a lot more damage together with the damage reduction that we are already getting from this new offhand from Inferno 6. Because if you guys see here, whenever you are gonna be in Wrath of Berserk, you're actually gonna have 20% more increase movement speed, but also your damage taken is gonna be reduced by 35%. So very strong. I really enjoy this, and you really feel the tankiness whenever you are playing the Whirlwind with this offhand. So I feel like regarding this build, it is actually very good. Whenever you're not, at least not using the bot, this one, it actually will compensate. Now here for the Paragon, also there's a few ways that you can build around it. Personally, I like to use the cheat dead. I also like to use the first aid because it's gonna make you slightly more tanky. Then you can still use the uncontrollable if you want, because I know you have the Artless, I know you have the immunity to chest piece, and I know you also have the reduction of the crowd control duration, but still adding this to the top will prevent you sometimes from one knock-up, or it will prevent you from getting stunned, which is really nice. Then you're also gonna have the Grizzly Veteran. Is gonna reduce the damage that you take 4%, and whenever you're gonna kill the target, you're not only gonna get the 12% boost, but also you gonna have this massive shield here together from the Soul Harvest. That, if you guys don't know, whenever you're gonna kill a player, you're gonna have not 10%, it's actually gonna be tripled, and it's gonna be a 30% damage shield, which is gonna feel like such a big difference, man. Then we have here, when it comes to the familiars, obviously you just want to run with your savior pet. You already know how it goes. Then we also gonna have here on the warband room, you want to put your protector, so you can have here the shepherd's burden, which is going to increase your life and also your size, so you're bigger. Then you also have the Alvis Bane, which is going to give you another shield, and overall the protector, it is going to be super good for you to do everything that you need. So this is pretty much the build. I hope that you guys enjoy and go have some fun with the Whirlwind. I just wanted to do for my fellow barbarians that do not like to enjoy to play with the bot. Just have in mind, if you don't enjoy this one, try this one, because it is a good alternative. It's still very strong. And with these guys, don't forget to drop the like, subscribe, and type cheese in the comments, so I know that you guys reach here and you still are carrying this channel. So guys, thanks so much for watching. Go watch this next video. Peace.